Hey everyone, it's Ivan, kitbatch.com, out here for another review, and today, talking optics, this guy right here, which is the Holosun 507 Comp. Big picture, what is it? It is a pistol optic that has a big window. Comp, hence competition. And so largely a lot of the same features of the other 507s, this one just being a much larger, relatively, window as far as the pistol optic. But yeah, I'll go over some of those features. Right here on the left side of the optic, you have these two buttons to either increase or decrease the brightness settings, and you also control that. By way of example, you can press and hold that, and you actually change the reticle inside the optic. More on that in a minute. Up top here, looking down at it, you have your adjustment, 1 MOA clicks. Over here, you also have your, well, up top rather is your elevation. Right here is your windage adjustment. Right here is your battery door. I do appreciate the battery door being on the side. You don't have to take the optic off like some of the RMRs and stuff. I will say I've actually had this come loose on me before, so probably put a little bit of thread locker on there. And as you can see, this right here is a Walther PDP, and not necessarily the most narrow pistol, but you can definitely see that the optic is wider than the pistol body itself, like the slide. The optic uses a 1632 battery. Also, with respect to that battery, you're getting anywhere from 25,000 to 50,000 hours, depending on settings. And right here, I'll show you some of the different reticles that they have in here. Basically cycle through them, and you basically have a 2 MOA center dot, which I actually really like. Really nice to be able to refine your point of aim like that. And then depending on how you want to have set it up, you have, I believe it's a 8, 16, and 32 MOA ring around it. I find the smallest ring around it, for my eyes, kind of blurs out some. And then of course, with all those respective rings, you can take away that 2 MOA center dot if you're looking for that. Then of course the optic has shake awake like a lot of the other Holosuns, built out of a 7075 T6 aluminum, hard coat anodized, all that stuff. And it fits a RMR footprint. It is of course open emitter, which personally not a big fan of. I honestly really like enclosed emitters. You never run into getting stuff in there, and if you get something on the lens, you just wipe it off. But it is what it is, made, hence the name, for competition. Which I guess brings me to what has been my experience with it. How have I used it? Well, pretty sure I have not shot any competitions with it. I have shot it a lot though. It's spent, right now, it's actually on this, which is Walther PDP full size. Most of its time has actually been spent on a, I guess, Glock 17 Gen 3 metal duty pistol. And yeah, shot it quite a bit, especially on that pistol, and it does a good job. That window is 1.1 by, I think, basically like 0.9 inches. So definitely bigger than some of your other windows. And as you can see on this Walther, like it is definitely wider than the slide a little bit. So that cuts both ways. On the one hand, as far as a concealed carry pistol, it has the potential to basically print a little more than it otherwise would, just because, yeah, it is in fact, bigger window. Does it matter? I don't know. Probably depends on how and where you're carrying. The one thing I will say I have run into this, or have run into with this, is on my Safariland ALS. And granted, I guess it's one of the older, like optics ready ones. It doesn't actually have the hood that like covers over it, but this is fairly tight in there, and you almost are kind of rocking it in to get it seated into the holster, because it'll touch the wings that kind of come up on the holster that are essentially protecting the optic part of the holster. So have run into that. Overall though, as far as the optic goes, it's done good. As I mentioned earlier, it is not enclosed. I definitely prefer enclosed optics. This, I think, is definitely a much less expensive version of a like competition optic, i.e. big window, between this and the, I guess it's the SRO, I want to say. Pretty sure I'm getting that right, maybe not. The by Trigicon, definitely a lot more expensive, and it is round. This is probably stronger than that rounder housing on there. I will say, actually, one to the other, I actually appreciate the round housing. The eye's naturally drawn to circles, centers of circles, things like that. And so, does it matter? I don't know. If you always pick it up, always look for the front sight, you will always see it. For me personally, the SRO, way faster to pick up, just sample size of 1. If this is something you're looking for because you want that wide window, whether it be for competition or, as I mentioned, for carry, whatever it may be, this will absolutely do that. It is held up really well, and as I mentioned, that battery door coming open, it wasn't actually with this optic, it was with another Holosun optic that uses that same battery door. So just FYI across all of those that have that battery door, a little bit of thread locker, probably a good thing. It is in fact Holosun, it is in fact made in China, consequently pretty affordable. I want to say you can find them around 370 bucks. So yeah, if it's something you're looking for competition or otherwise, pretty solid optic. There'll be links down below if you want to check it out. And as always, thanks for joining us at kitbadger.com. Look forward to seeing you next time.